Hello and welcome to today's math lesson. So first of all guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello for our friends on camera. Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our laps and close our eyes. When you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Excellent. And next we can do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. We can begin by stretching up high to the sky. High as we can. And then let's go down low. Touch our toes. Back up high one more time. This time, can we go tippy toe high? And while we're there, let's have a wave side to side. And back down to touch your toes once more. Excellent, guys. And now arms and legs, shake it out. Shake it out, arms and legs. Shake it out. And now we can put our hands on our hips and have a wiggle side to side. Stop. Another wiggle side to side. Stop. Forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, and stop. And now we can go round and round, round and round, round and round. And stop. And now back the other way. Give our spines a nice stretch back the other way. Round and round. And stop. And to finish, guys, we will do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So in our previous math lesson, we began learning about a particular type of shape. Does anybody remember the shape that we learned about in the previous lesson? Rectangles. Excellent, guys. Well done. We began learning about types of rectangles. So let's write that phrase on the board first. Types. T-Y-P-E-S of rectangles. R-E-C-T-A-N-G-L-E-S. So all together, guys, types of rectangles. Yes. And remember when we were learning about rectangles, we learned about the standard type of rectangles. Who can remember how many sides does a rectangle have? 4. Excellent, guys. 4 sides to every rectangle. Now, with the rectangles that we learned about previously, were all the sides of the same length, or were some of the sides different? Yes, they were different lengths. What it is that the opposite sides are of the same length. Not all of the sides the same length, the opposite sides are the same length. And this is what differentiates the different type of rectangles. So what I'm going to do now, as a recap exercise, I'm going to give a marker pen to some of my students, and they're going to come forward and demonstrate how to create their own rectangles based on the common characteristics that they all share. 4 sides and opposite sides of the same length. So let's see who can come forward and do the first one today. Prel, come and join me at the front of class, please. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask Prel to design her own rectangle. So how many sides do we need, guys? 4. So can I see your first side, please, Prel? Perfect. Okay, so we've got 1 side. And what we need to do is we need to do opposite sides of the same length. So what that means is Prel has drawn 1 side here, and the opposite side here will be of the same length. Excellent. So how many sides has Prel drawn so far? 2. How many more do we need? We need 2 more. And what Prel can do is she can join the angles on either side to create her own rectangle. Brilliant. Excellent, Prel. So Prel has drawn a really good example of a rectangle because it fits the common characteristics. How many sides, guys? 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as we know, each rectangle also has 4 rectangles. And what we mean about opposite sides are the sides facing each other. They're the sides that have to be of the same length. And you can see here again, opposite sides, same length. Prel, that was brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for Prel, please, guys. But do all rectangles have to be of the same size? Can they be different sizes sometimes? Yes, they can. So what I'll do now, I'll give a marker pen to another one of my students, and they can demonstrate a rectangle of a different size. And now I'll invite Pat to come forward and join me. So Pat, now you have the chance to design your own rectangle similar to this, but a different size. So you can make it bigger or smaller, up to you. So you can do your first side, any side you want. Okay, so you can draw 1 side for a rectangle. Excellent. Okay, so Pat has drawn his first side here. Now what we need to do is to do an opposite side of the same length. So Pat, can you draw another side opposite of the same length? Excellent. How many sides so far, guys? 2. So what Pat needs to do now is he needs to draw lines to connect the 2 sides. Okay, how many sides? 4. Are the opposite sides of the same length? This one and this one same length? Is this side and this side the same length? Then we have a rectangle. So Pat, that was excellent. High five and a big round of applause for Pat, please, guys. And let's do one more before we move on to another type of rectangle. So Pangpon, come and join me at the front. Now Pangpon gets to choose any size rectangle he likes. You can use this space here. So let's see, Pangpon, your first side. Okay, the opposite side, same length. Looking good, so maybe this one can be a little bit longer. Okay, now you can join your sides with 2 more. Excellent. Brilliant, Pangpon, well done. So how many sides do we have to Pangpon's shape, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4. Are the opposite sides of the same length? So therefore we have another type of rectangle. So you can see how they're all different sizes and even slightly different shapes. But because they share the same common characteristics, they are rectangles. Pangpon, that was very well done. High five and a big round of applause for Pangpon, please, guys. So that was a recap of the previous lesson when we learned about the standard types of rectangles. Now we're going to move on and look at the other type of rectangle where the opposite sides aren't just of the same length, but all of the sides are of the same length. And I think this is a shape that you'll know already, but we've got a PowerPoint presentation for our students to observe, listen to, and also practice speaking. So let's all turn to have a look at the TV screen, please, guys. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint presentation, Types of Rectangles, Lesson 2. Yes, and here in the picture, you can see lots of different shapes, but they're all a particular shape. Rectangles. How many sides do they have? Yes, and the opposite sides are all of the same length. A rectangle has 4 right angles. The opposite sides are always parallel and of the same length. Okay, so rectangle standard version, it's only the opposite sides that are the same. This one, same length as this one. And this side, the same length as this side. They're the rectangles we've learnt of previously. A rectangle is the type of shape known as quadrilateral. Quad is an old word for 4. So if you hear quad, it means 4. So a quadrilateral is a shape with 4 sides. The symbols 1 and 2 indicate that those sides are of the same length. For example, is this side the same length as this side? Is this side the same length as this side? No. Exactly. You can see they've got different markers. How about, is this side the same as this side? Yes. Yes. So you can see the different symbols tell us the different sides are the same length. Rectangles can be different sizes and colours. How many rectangles can you see here? 4 rectangles. Are they the same size? Yes. No. But do they all have 4 sides? Yes. A square is a special type of rectangle. So a square is a shape that you all know about already. But what do you notice about the square? About the sides, how many sides? 4 sides. Now, are all the sides of the same length? Yes. That's what makes a rectangle and a square different. A square is a shape with all the sides the same length. 4 sides are all the same. All the sides of a square are of equal length. Similar to a rectangle, a square also has 4 right angles. And you can see them here in the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now notice here how the symbol is the same on every side. Because all the sides are the same length, they all share the same symbol. Is this a square? No. What is it? Triangle. It's a triangle. How many sides does it have? 3. Yes, tri means 3. So no, this is a triangle. Is this a square? No. No. This is a rectangle. Because all the sides aren't the same length. So that's a rectangle. Is this a square? Yes. Yes, this is a square because all the sides are of the same length. So we can say, yes, this is a square. 4 sides, all the same length, makes a square. Any questions, guys? No. Okay, that was brilliant. Well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation so that they can begin to understand the differences between standard rectangles and squares. Both of them are quadrilaterals. They both have 4 sides. But remember, the rectangle has opposite sides of the same length, whereas the square has all sides of the same length. And coming up soon, we've got a board exercise for our students to practice demonstrating how to create their own squares. But before then, guys, time for our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And for this sequence, we can begin by doing some rotations. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Excellent, guys. Now we'll do 5 stretches to our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 stretches to our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a shake. Arms and legs, shake it out. And now, take your arms up. Shake your arms up. Shake your arms down. Arms forwards. To the side. And to the other side. Excellent, guys. Now we can take our right hand and find our left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. And to finish, guys, we will do 5 star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So now we're going to do a board exercise for our students to demonstrate their understanding of how to create squares. So they're going to help me create some. But first of all, we need to review the characteristics. So first of all, guys, let's have a look. Does a square have 4 sides? Yes. Now, with a square, are opposite sides only of the same length? No. With a square, all sides. So what we can do, we can change the characteristics from opposite sides, same length, because what we do with a square is we make sure that all sides of the same length. So altogether, guys, we've got 4 sides, all sides, same length. And these characteristics make the type of shape we know as square. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to invite some students to come forward and join me and show how we can create our own squares together. So first of all, I would like to ask Lakau, come and join me at the front of class, please. Okay, so let's review our characteristics one more time. How many sides for a square? 4 sides. And are all sides of the same length? Yes, okay. So that's the main difference between a standard rectangle and a square. So what I'll do now is I will draw one side here. And now I would like Lakau to draw the opposite side of the same length. Perfect. Now what I will do here is of the same length, draw another one. And then Lakau can complete the square with the same length. Brilliant, Lakau. That's excellent. So how many sides can you see, guys? 4 sides. All sides of the same length? Therefore, what shape have we created? Square. And as we can see, same as a rectangle, a square still has 4 right angles. Lakau, that was brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for Lakau, please, guys. So teachers, you can see the activity that we're doing in our classroom now. You can pause the activity and do the same activity with your own classmates, your own students. And we'll see you again in around 10 minutes. We're going to carry on playing here now. And next, I would like to invite Chu. Come and join me at the front of class, please. And now demonstrate how to draw a different size square. So here we can see the square that Lakau helped me to draw. Do all squares have to be of the same size, guys? No, they can be bigger or they can be smaller. So for example, if I draw one side of a square here, I will now ask Chu to draw the parallel side of a square, remembering all sides are of the same length. Well done, Chu. That looks very good. So now, how many sides have we got? 2. How many more do we need? 2. We need another 2. So I'll draw the top one. We'll go from here to here, 3 sides, and then Chu can complete the square with the 4th remaining side. Brilliant, Chu. So how many sides? 4. All sides same length? Yes. What shape do we have? Square. And once again, we can see the amount of right angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we've got another example of a square. Chu, that was brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for Chu, please, guys. Okay, so let's do some more squares. Nadia, come and join me at the front of class, please. This time I think we'll do a littler square. Let's see, Nadia, let's do a little square. If I draw one line here like this, can you draw the next line for a square? Okay. Then I can take this line here, here. Excellent, well done. So how many sides have we got, guys? All the same length? Is it a rectangle? It's a special type of rectangle known as a square. And once again, we've got the 4 right angles here. So you can see how our squares that we are doing all share common characteristics. 4 sides, all the same length, and 4 right angles. But are they all the same size? No. We can have squares that are bigger and squares that are smaller. Nadia, that was brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for Nadia, please, guys. Now let's do one more square together before we move on to the worksheet activity. So now I would like to invite Dan. Come and join me at the front of class. Now let's see, we have a big space here. So let's fill this big space with a big square. Wow, Dan, look at the size of my line. Can you do a second line? That's looking good. And then I will go from here to here. Brilliant. And Dan, do me one more favor. Can you do the right angles too? We have 4 right angles in the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brilliant, guys. How many sides? 4. Are they all the same length? Yes. So what type of shape have we created? Square. Okay? Dan, that was excellent. High five and a big round of applause for Dan, please, guys. So you can see once again, by doing our own shapes known as squares, they all share the same common characteristics. 4 sides and all sides of the same length. That is the main difference between a square and a rectangle. Whereas rectangles have opposite sides the same length, a square will have every side of the same length. And guys, that was brilliant. Very well done. And now it's time for our worksheet activity. So teachers, make sure every student in your class gets their own worksheet. And what we want them to do today is demonstrate their understanding of squares. So we want our students to only colour in the shapes that are squares. Not rectangles, guys. Today we're concentrating on 4 sides, all of the same length. And then, when they think they've found all the different squares, they can count them up and write the total in the bottom. But what's the first thing to do? Names on top first. And give our students around 12 minutes for this activity. Help them with anything they need. You can refer them to the board's activity to help them. So Pankon, this one's for you. Thank you. You're welcome. Cleo for you. You're welcome. Dan, here's yours. You're welcome. Chu for you. You're welcome. Nadia, here's yours. You're welcome. Pat for you. You're welcome. And Pakbunk. You're welcome. So names on top first, guys. And then following the rules that we've got on the board, 4 sides, all sides same length, you'll be able to find your square. So colour in the squares only. And then at the end, count them up and write the total at the bottom. Excellent, Bang Pon. You can even use different colours for the same square. You can make them multicoloured, as long as it's only the colours, only the squares that you're colouring. Excellent, guys. So remember, beware the rectangles. Rectangles are very similar. Wow, Bang Pon, that's a lovely coloured, multicoloured square. You see? As long as you colour only the squares, you can use any colours you want, guys. Excellent, Pat Bung. Well done, Pat. How many more can you find? And don't forget your name. Put your name on top. Excellent, Lakau. Well done, Chew. This one, rectangle. We've got to have all the same length, so. Not the rectangle. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet activity where they had to demonstrate their understanding of squares by colouring in the shapes that are only squares. So remember, guys, we're concentrating on the shapes of 4 sides that have all sides of the same length, because that's the main difference between rectangles and squares. And that brings us to the end of today's lesson. So we hope you've enjoyed it and now understand what a square is and how to differentiate between a rectangle and a square. And we'll see you again soon for the next lesson. So can we turn to wave and say goodbye, guys? Bye-bye. See you again soon.